everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Hey, hi, hello, welcome to Pride Month. I'm so excited to be here with you today for the Chosen Family, Chosen Love Pride Hop collaboration. This is something that I do every year with my friend Michael from World of Michael Trent, and this year we have some friends to hop along with us. So Chosen Family, Chosen Love is also going to be a 6x8 stamp set from Stamp Anything, and 10% of the proceeds from that stamp set are going to True United. Hi friends, I misspoke. It's True Colors United. So the charity is True Colors United. They also have several different digital stamps available, and 100% of those proceeds are going to True United. And True United is an organization that helps homeless teen youth who are on the I call it the rainbow spectrum. So that's what we're doing today. I'm hopping along with Michael, like I said, from World of Michael Trent. We have Kevin, who is representing Stamp Anything. We have Michelle, we have Randy, and we have Timothy. So thank you guys so much for joining our collab. I love doing this. It's one of my favorite collabs to do, and I'm excited to be here with you today. So I'm going to be using an image from the Chosen Family, Chosen Love stamp set, and I cannot wait to show you my card. So I will have everybody listed down below. So some of us are doing YouTube and everybody is doing Instagram. So make sure you go over on Instagram and leave a comment and say hello, and check out all of the fabulous designs by our fabulous designers. So if you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Without further ado, let's head over to the craft table and let's get started on our first Pride cards. Forgot to mention, some of us are doing this every Friday in June. Misty. So every Friday in June, you're going to get a Pride theme carved from me. So yeah, all right, now let's head over to the craft table and we can get started. Before we get into today's video, I want to take a minute to talk to you about undertones. There are basically three types of undertones. If you're someone who wears foundation, you'll probably know this. There is a warm undertone, a cool undertone, and a neutral undertone. So think of it as yellow, blue, and then a mix of both. So not olive exactly, but anyway, I'm going to share that with you using some Copics. Ooh, that one's dirty. All right, so let's talk warm gray. We consider a color to be warm when it has more yellow in it. Now, I know a lot of people think of red as warm, blue as cool, but to me, I find that warm undertones lean more yellow or more golden, especially when we're talking about skin tones. And I'm specifically talking about this today because, as you can see from the thumbnail, I'm going to be coloring two different images, two different people images, two different colors. So this is warm gray. We're going to have cool gray next to it. Now, if you look closely, now especially since this is dried, you can see the yellow in this color. You can see the yellow poking through. Hopefully you can see the yellow poking through. Cool gray pulls a bit more blue. And then we have N10, which is neutral gray, which is a mix of both. And then we have black, which is either all the colors or absence of color, however you want to think of it. So hopefully it's showing on camera. This pulls yellow because it's warm. This pulls blue because it's cool. This is neutral, so it is an exact mix of yellow and blue to make a neutral color. And then we have black, that is either the absence of color or all the colors, however you want to think of it. Let me show you a different way. Where is my... Okay. So let's talk about reds. So we got, like, see how RV is over in this area with R39? RV and then R39. That's because these pull a bit more blue. But then you have something like R17 that pulls a bit more yellow. If you're someone who's ever bought a red lipstick, you know that there is a difference between that true, movie star Marilyn Monroe red. We know that it has a cooler undertone. So when I'm coloring today, I'm going to explain my reasoning for why I did a more warmer undertone with E99. E99 is the last color I used. So you can see how yellow that one pulls. Then for one of the colors in her hair, I used E77. And you can see that that pulls a bit more blue. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. But now, without further ado, let's get into the coloring. Okay, friends, I really hope that that little tutorial was helpful for you. Be sure to leave any questions that you have down in the comments below, and I will do my best to either answer them in the comment or in another video share with you an update. Now, I have already filmed next week's video, so I can't answer it in that one necessarily, but I will do my best to answer them. So when I color, I color darkest to lightest for all items I always have. The one thing that you should know about coloring is that it's very personal to you. So like, I didn't ever go on to explain why I don't like to use purple as a shadow. You're supposed to use cool tone for shadows. I get that. But when it's a small image like this, I don't find that I like the look of it. I feel like it looks like someone is bruised when I color it. When someone else colors it, it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. But for myself, I just don't like the purple in the skin tone, especially when I'm going warm like I am with this character. So I used E39, I think, 37. I don't remember. It's written on the paper. You'll be able to see it. So I really wanted a warmer, kind of more golden undertone for her. And then for our Caucasian character, I've gone a bit more pale. So I really love high contrast when I do creating, and I love using colors that really look good together. So as you saw in the thumbnail, I've used pink and purple and aqua, and I just love the look of those. Now, I didn't add any pink to the darker skin tone, but I did to the lighter skin tone by using R20. Now for her hair, I'm making it more cool toned. So I'm using more cool toned colors, like I mentioned in the tutorial at the beginning. I used 49, I believe I used 79, 77, and 74. And how I did this, because her hair is textured, is I went over the darkest lines that Annie has given us and with the darkest color. And then I've kind of just gone over it to the lightest color and then colored everything in with the lightest color. And then I'm going to go back over it. I'm going to deepen those. Now, next week, I'm going to be coloring more textured hair. So in that one, I'll share with you more tips and tricks on how I get the textured look. But that's how I did it in this one. One issue I'm finding, and this is why I may put oh-hoo-hoos on my wish list. So if anybody wants to send me oh-hoo-hoos, I would appreciate it. Is that I find that I am not able to get brush strokes with my Copics. And I know that the oh-hoo-hoos have a set that are brush on one end and fine on the other end. And I'm really interested in trying that to see if I can get the brush strokes that I like. Another tip that we're going to try probably on the last card of this month is adding colored pencils on top of Copics to add more texture, etc. So for the Caucasian, you can see here we're doing pink hair. I thought pink hair would be so pretty. I'm using my favorite pinks. If you want that Barbie pink kind of color, it's RV 13, 23, and 21. 21 being the lightest and 13 being the darkest. So I've gone in at her roots, behind her head, and then added a little bit of darkness at her tips. And then I color darkest to lightest like I always do, and I end up with the lightest color. And then I go back and do it all over again. So basically I color my images twice, and that kind of just deepens the color. Sometimes I'll just go in and deepen the darkest color depending on what it looks like. Now I'm going on to the jeans. These are just a regular wash denim. For the other character, I'm going to do a lighter kind of acid wash. I have created these, what is that accent, Misty? I'm coloring this to leave the knees and the buttocks a little bit lighter than the rest of it. I know some people, that's where their jeans wear down. Of course, we can't see her thighs. If it was her thighs that were showing, I may have made her thighs a bit more lighter, but I'm definitely leaving kind of like the bottom and the knees where they would be a bit more worn. And then, like I said, I'm going to do an acid wash on the other girl. But first, we're going to move on to her shirt. And for her shirt, I'm going to be coloring it a really pretty teal. So I always keep a piece of whatever paper I'm using to color on, and it's almost always the Hammermill 100 pound or 80 pound. I keep a piece on the side so I can practice my blends, because as you could see, I took one marker away because on my hex chart by Sandy Allnock, they look very different, but on paper, blending together, they looked about the same. So I brought in, I think it's BG 4923 and BG 11. And again, coloring darkest to lightest and then going right back over it. Then for this girly, like I said, I'm going to do a more acidy wash. So I'm starting with E34, which was the lightest color that I used for the other pair of denim, and then going on from there. As you can see, I use a mixture of Copic and Sketch and Chow. The Chow are like at least $2 cheaper per marker. And I'm a completionist. I have the entire set, but I'm not a completionist in the way that I have to have them both look the exact same. I'm very much a bargain kind of person, so whatever saves me money. Now, I messed up on this girl. She has two shirts on. She has an undershirt where you can see through her sleeve, and then she has a short sleeve shirt on. I wanted the top of the shirt to be gray and the undershirt to be a different color, but I messed that up. So to cover up the gray, I'm going to bring in a really deep purple. So this is V9. Yeah, V09. Anyway, 17 and 15. That's my favorite purple combo. That is the one complaint I think I have about all alcohol markers is the purples. I realize it's because purple is a harder pigment to work with. It's the same way with makeup, but I really wish these companies would get on it with the purples. For their tennis shoes, I consider these Converse. So Converse has the white toe and the white, what is the bottom of the shoe called? I don't know, the white bottom of the shoe. So I'm using a couple of glitter gel pens to color in what would be the fabric. And then I went over the white with one of the Stardust gel pens from Jelly Roll. I wish I hadn't done that because it dries kind of more silver than it does like clear or white, which is why I stopped using Wink Stella and prefer the Aqua Nouveau pen. Now, if you guys been with me for a while, you know I do a project called Project Use Your Stuff, where I try to use up the stuff that's in my stash. All of these papers were in my stash, except for this one. So this is a pink of a sheet of pink polka dot paper from Queen & Go that I cut down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Unfortunately, I can't give you the measurements on the rest of them because, again, I already had those rectangles cut out. So I'm just adding them all together. This is rainbow paper. It's not in your face kind of rainbow paper. It reminds me of like fruit stripe gum. No lie. Now, one thing I forgot to do was put a white layer inside this card, but when you're using black or any other dark layer, you want to include a white piece on the inside. I know some people decorate the inside of their cards. I do occasionally. I did not with this one, but that is definitely something that you can do. Then I'm going to cut this out. It took me 9 minutes to cut this image out. 9 minutes. And then I like to go around the back of the image using a water-based marker. This is a Stampin' Up! Black marker. And as you can see, there is a white core to this paper. So you remove that white border from around the image when you go do something like that. Then I went ahead and added our sentiment to a piece of black paper. And then I'm going to get this adhered using some foam squares. Now for our girlies, if you watched last week's video, I like to keep the extra foam from the Queen & Co kits. As you can see here on the right, I have a huge bag of it. And I'm using that to adhere them to the cards, so they'll be a little bit higher than the sentiment will be. And I really like the look of that. If you wanted to, you could use a marker and color the foam. It's not that serious to me. I don't really mind it that much. And then I'm going to add this sentiment using foam squares, and that's it. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you check out everybody else. They'll be listed in the description box down below. It is Friday, so you still have 2 days left of the Scrapbooking Fun Summit. Be sure you can still get a free ticket and come hang out with me on Sunday. I'm doing a live stream at 11 Central Time. And then if you buy the VIP bundle, you can get access to yesterday's video and all of today's videos as well. So that's it, friends. Here's a look at the pictures. I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are. I love your faces. I'll see those of you who join us on Sunday. Bye for now.